Well, welcome everybody. This is strange. My StreamYard is weird, so I don't see any. I don't see any comment section. What I did see was attach this to Facebook, so I tried it. So I don't even know if it's working on Facebook or not. No, nothing looks like it's on Facebook. No, and I can't see anybody's comments. Let's have a look. Show comments. Huh. Okay, so I found them. Good stuff. Hello. 8 beautiful souls. Welcome everybody. Give us a sound check if you don't mind. Can you hear the... hopefully you can hear the background music. Just let me know if you can hear the background music. You can't hear the music? Can you hear the music now? Just let me know if you can hear the background music. Cool. Brilliant. Thanks for that. Sound check, sound check. Up, 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 up. Welcome everybody. I just thought I'd do a live Pure Energy Healing. Just a little chat about Pure Energy Healing. Seems that there's so many courses offered online now, obviously by advertising. I don't advertise, don't pay for advertising. I know the right people will see and will come to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. It's not like we want everybody there anyway. So we go with that. The right people will find us, and it's not, and it was never meant to be like Reiki, even though Reiki is beautiful in all its essence. I know nothing about Reiki, but I know a lot of Reiki masters who are now pure energy healers. But there are variations. People have asked me in the past, what's the difference between Reiki and pure energy healing? There's a huge difference. However, when we just generally talk with clients, we normally say, look, everything's energy healing. You can call it what you want. I remember first calling my energy healing practice prana, taken from prana. I call it prama. And as time went on, this was because of my first mentor. This was her suggestion. And because I looked up to my mentor and, you know, I mean, not just look up to them, but took advice because I was new to this field of work. So what did I know? And I remember she created an all-seeing eye. And I said to her at the time, isn't that Illuminati? And she laughed and she said, what little people know is a dangerous thing. And she then began to tell me that the Illuminati was not a conspiracy, but more about the enlightened, the ones who knew and kept it to themselves. So she liked to be bigger than, she wanted people to think of her as bigger, you know. So, and of course she did at time. She was a Wiccan high priestess. So she'll have put some time into that. I'm sure you don't just become a Wiccan high priestess. And she had all the books and she had a PhD. So you don't just get a PhD from sitting around doing nothing. So I appreciated that she'd worked hard, and she was a chemist. And she used to believe that she could manipulate her work by energy. So all of those things were fascinating. So at the beginning of my journey, I was kind of led by my mentor, till the point where you start to grow in your own confidence, and you start to, I know this sounds awful, but I started to resent my teacher because I wasn't allowed to, sneeze without asking for permission. And although I'm not somebody who takes orders, which I didn't, but it was very subtle, and very clever. And then I realized in time it was very manipulating. I'm glad I had that teacher. Learnt me a lot of what not to be. So pure energy healing is not restricting at all. It's not restrictive. It's not ABC 1, 2, 3. It's generally a natural flow. And what the pure energy healing teachers do, like Leila Sati and myself, we try and encourage from a very, very good grounding level, first of all, ground you, give you all the information, and then you start to practice. And in that practice, we give you the confidence to trust yourself. Now, it is true, if you become a pure energy healer and you follow the protocol, then you will probably follow it to my way and Leila's way. But what we try and encourage is for you not to have a set way of doing things, because it will restrict you from when the moment comes when you are in that energy of flow and you think, oh, should I or shouldn't I? That happens to a lot of healers. And I think I have no idea what Reiki is. I've never done it, but I have been told by hundreds of people that it's fairly restrictive to certain people. To other people who need that, it's great for them. But for people who want to just be more about their own energy and their own inner gift and power, it's restrictive. Apparently it's hands-on, hands-off. It's all to do with symbolisms. And for me, I don't call for symbolism. I don't look for it. What I do as a healer is I'm in the moment with that purely individual client that I know nothing about, I can't judge, or I can't say what I'm going to do. So I don't know what I can prepare for the client. I can prepare myself and prepare the room, but what's going to happen next is a different ballgame. And if I was to, like in pranic healing, pranic healing is from a master called Master Kokosui, or something similar like that. And when I learned it, one of the things that struck me, and it was the most powerful thing that struck me, is that in his teachings that he says that when you place your hand over somebody's eye when you're giving healing, you mustn't do it for too long. And the reason why is if they're at a certain age, it might cause more damage to their eye. So in that said, that can be very restrictive to many people. And I only used to put my hand over the eye of say somebody who was 70, maybe just for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'd stop. And then the client would say to me, my eye got a little bit better, but then the fuzziness went and then it came back again. And it didn't take long for me to realize that I'd restricted myself by the actions of Master Kokosui and pranic healing. So what I did was I put my hand over the eye of the same lady a few weeks later when she came back, and this time I left it for double the time. And then she said to me, my eye is getting better. It lasted all day, but then it went fuzzy again. Ah, okay. Did it hurt? Was there any issues? No. Okay, so I've gone double the time that Master Kokosui told me as a pranic healer. And this is what I learned from that. And she came back again, and I said, did it hurt? Were you in any pain? Or no, but it lasted. The vision lasted longer. Lovely lady. She was an ice skater. She used to perform all over the world ice skating when she was younger. She was very famous. And again, I remember this time saying to myself, well, that can't be right for everybody. And that was a profound moment when I was sat under the tree and I heard the message that not everybody has the same energy and everybody receives energy differently. So I heard that from Spirit while I was sat under my tree, and I wrote it down. And that was the basis of pure energy healing. You see, Master Kokosui may have had such a strong energy that he noticed that maybe it may cause issue to somebody's eye who he was healing. But that doesn't mean I'm Master Kokosui. I'm not. I'm Mark, and my energy is different. So from that moment, there was no restricting me as a guide for you to say you shouldn't do that, because you're not like me and I'm not like you. So you need to find your comfortable place, and you've got to work out as a healer now with your clients. So you are now the pupil and the teacher, and there you go. Your client is going to be your teacher, and you're the pupil, and you're going to learn pure energy healing thereafter. I get called terrible things for saying, how can you call somebody a pure energy healer only after 4 days of doing healing work? And I say that when I first started learning different healing modalities, I called myself Prana Healing, and people would say to me, how long have you been doing this? And I'll say, I've only just started, and I'm learning as I go along. Why is that such a dreadful thing? Why is that? I'll tell you why. Because mainstream thinking and brainwashing deludes you to believe that you can only be something if you learn it through that very brainwashing mainstream program. So it basically fools 99% of humanity to believe that you can only be good at something if you've been trained. Now, it is true that if you are practicing and you are working with clients, you will experience every hour as a new experience, which will be part of your understanding. So, would I prefer to go to somebody who has been healing for 50 years or somebody who's only just started? I can tell you this now. I have been in here and in the other Pure Energy Healing Academy when I first started, and I've had healing sessions from a man who was trained at the Arthur Findlay College and was in his 80s, and he gave me a healing session, and a lady from Ireland who had never done healing before in her life had spent 4 days, actually 3 days in my academy, because it was 3 days back then when I first started. And after those 3 days, if you would ask me, between the guy who's been doing it for over 50, 60 years to this lady who's been doing it 3 years, I would have taken the lady for 3 years. I had never felt anything so incredible in my life. And I asked her, would you consider, because she was so gifted, it was like water off a duck's. It was like you've done this before. I've said, you probably don't know it, but you've done this before, because I've watched how you work, and it's blown me away. And do you know, I remember ringing her in Ireland, asking her, would you consider becoming a teacher? And she said, I don't even want to be a pure energy healer, Mark. I don't want to do it on people. And I'm like, wow. She says, I've come here because I've got, I think she said 3 or 2 autistic children. And I came to heal my children. And I was just so blown away. So if you ask me, when I first started healing, was I a good healer? I was like, I'm not sure. I have to work hard. I can tell you this for a fact. I wasn't a good reader. It took me a while before I got into it. And every time I did a reading, I was nervous. And, I never had the confidence that some of these readers have. It's like, and, I had to work hard at it, really hard. And at one point, sometimes I was so blown away by the reading, I actually that wasn't me. And I come to realize that when you're a healer and you're giving healing, you realize it's not you. You just become the open vessel that allows certain energy to come through you. A bit like channeling, but not like those who go, and then they start saying to somebody, I just can't cut. I just struggle with all of that stuff. I just struggle with that performance. I can't cope with it. I'm so different from a lot of healers. I just like to be down to earth, and I like to say it as it is, and I like my clients to tell me, not me tell my clients. So in pure energy healing, what I try and share with people is, you don't need to say anything. Because if you've actually given a healing session, then that healing session should say everything. If you're having to compensate by telling people stuff, then did you actually do any healing at all? Or were you just in your brain, or were you fearful and worried? And because fear and worry stops that flow that comes through. So pure energy healing is a beautiful healing method, and I don't push it that much these days, but we have a beautiful online course, and out of literally thousands and thousands of courses, and you're being bombarded every day by these guys or these women telling you all these amazing things that they do and all that. It's like, I don't do that. I just don't do that. For me, I'd rather undervalue myself. I'd rather low key it for you to receive more than what people are telling you you're going to get, and it's going to be life-changing in this and that. But it almost sounds like a sales pitch. A lot of the times what I'll do is I'll get pure energy healers to come on a chat and just to talk. And then people think, wow, that feels amazing, that feels lovely, what they've just said there. And people do get a lot out of pure energy healing. They do. And whether you do become a healer full-time, or whether you become a healer part-time, or whether you just use that healing modality in a way that if somebody needs your help and they ask for it, then you give it. We never force our work. We never push our work, just like I say that with any kind of spiritual work. I never approach somebody and tell them what they should and shouldn't do. I think that is, for me, I wouldn't want it. So why would you go and start telling people what they should and shouldn't do? And I've seen too much of it in all my time. And my first mentor was a sly person, because what I've just said there, right, I mean. And although my first mentor knew this, she would say, but there's nothing wrong with showing them so that they can see it. Basically wearing a pointy hat and a long black gown and a big walking stick, right? Why do you do that? Well, it's kind of advertising, and it's up to them then if they see me. Well, no, they are going to see you, because you're wearing a pointy hat and you're wearing all these strange clothes, and you're obviously trying to grab attention. If you're really truly a healer, or you're really truly a Wiccan high priestess, then you wouldn't need to do that, because they would pick up on you. Because if you believe in the spirit world, which obviously my mentor did, then you would know that every person that finds you, when it is truth and when it is pure and when it is spiritual, you know that they've found you in a magical way, not by, oh, look at that pointy hat person, I'm going to go and talk to them. To me, that's a form of pushing. So when people call you and say, listen, I've heard about you because you gave a healing session to somebody, or I've heard you've given a reading to a friend of mine. She was very happy with the reading. Could I come and see you? You realise when somebody knocks on the door and says, I'd like to become a pure energy healer today, and I don't know why. You beat that. You beat that. You can sell yourself. You can buy as many, adverts as you want. You can dress as weird as you want. You can push and force your stuff on stuff. But there ain't no more beautiful and pure than somebody knocking on your door saying, I don't know why I'm here, but I just knew I needed to come to do this course. And that's when I smile. My eyes gleam, because I look up and say, thanks, guys. And not just thanks, guys, but I'm honoured, and I'm going to do my best to try and help this person. And the way I'm going to do my best is just to allow that person to find their power. And this room here is your room. When you walk in this room and people go, well, am I allowed to touch your crystals? Because I went to this lady and she said, don't you touch my crystals. Or like, why wouldn't I want you to touch my crystals? They're beautiful. They're there to heal you. Oh, what's in them oils? Here, if you just wash your hands first of all, they wash your hands, or I'll get a bud and then I'll rub it into that. I'm like, my God, that's beautiful. Yeah. And anytime you want to put energy healings, that if you're feeling great, put it into it. And what's this and what's that? This is your room. You're here for 4 days now. This is your room. Imagine that this is yours, and you want to keep it as clean, and you want to be as respectful as you can to this room. This is your room. I'm not going to be watching you and telling you what you should. This is your room. And I know that you're going to treat this room with as much love as I do. What could be more beautiful? You're now giving power. You're not taking it away. You're not giving rules. You're just trusting. They've come here, so you trust that. So, and I guess that because I was beaten as a child, my dad beat me a lot, because I wasn't allowed to do things. My dad wouldn't allow me to do things all the time. He didn't trust and believe me. And at school, I was the dumb idiot at school. I was in the corner. Always got beat all the time. Always uncontrollable. Thank you. It's made me the person that I am, because I can see how not to treat people. And I think that's what makes the Pure Energy Healing Academy online course beautiful, because it's free. It's a flow in the sense of you're not pressured. You're not told what. You're actually encouraged all the way through the 4-day course, whether it's a 4-day Pure Energy Healing course or whether it's a 4-day Pure Energy Crystal Healing course. You are the healer. You've always been a healer. You've been a healer many times. You've done this tons of times. All we need to do is now help you remember who you are. And in those 4 days, if you follow the 4 days in the sense of, okay, I'm going to get excited, I'm looking forward to it, I'm going to try and look for a healing bed, meaning a massage bed from somewhere. Please, somebody can lend me on Facebook or online. Please, anybody in the area, or could I hire one? Or maybe you want to even buy one because you're that confident you're going to do this. So you get a healing bed. If you can't afford, no problem. You just try and get a single bed or your bed and get it all ready. And then you call your friends and say, oh, I'm going to do this Pure Energy Healing course because I feel like I want to do it. I don't know why, but I just feel it's the right time. And your friends go, yeah, I'd love to come for a healing session. So you've got your clients lined up, you've got your friends, your family lined up, and you follow the videos. And it's self-explanatory. After you watched one video, you click onto the next one. And you can only move on to the next one if you've watched all of it. So it's very clever how it's done. And then after you've done a healing session, after day 2 and day 3 and day 4, after you've given that healing session, you need to write that lovely soul who's come, their name and their email address to prove that you've actually done it on that person. So we might contact them and say, how was your healing session? So that when at the end of the 4 days, at least you've done the healing sessions on your clients, even if it's one client, even if you've got one, even if it's your partner or your child, it's okay. After that, after you've done that 4 days, then you've participated in something that has been here, which has been very successful over many years. We've never pushed, we've never forced, we've never gone out there to mainstream, we've never gone to Hay House, we've never done radio shows, big, huge radio shows talking about, that we want new members and we want you to come. Like, we're very, very relaxed in that way. And we have got thousands of pure energy healers worldwide, and some of those healers are working in hospitals, they work in clinics, they're all over the place, and their healing technique isn't just pure energy healing, because we give everybody that space and that feeling that a lot of healing modalities don't want. And that is, you just do what we're doing. You don't do anything else. And this is the only modality you should do, or else. No. You can do as many modalities as you want. You're still a pure energy healer. And whatever you use, so you might be a masseur, and you might do pure energy healing while you're massaging. Loads of them. We've got loads of pure energy healers who are masseurs. And so on, depending on what they do. So, pure energy healing isn't this is the only thing. It is part of your journey. And really, if somebody said to me, what is pure energy healing? I would say it's a modality that helps you understand who you are. It helps you believe and trust in yourself. It helps you become your own guru, your own master, your own healer. You believe in yourself, that you start to become intuitive, in the sense of, instead of asking for help of everybody, you start to ask yourself, and then all of a sudden you realize that maybe I'm not asking myself, maybe I'm asking my higher self or my spirit, maybe I'm communicating with my spirit, with the spirit world, and maybe I'm receiving information. So I've walked up and down this street now for over 20 years. And as I walked up and down this street after giving 5, 7, 10 healing sessions in a day, I used to walk to a tree and I used to sit down, and I had little books, loads of little books, and I used to just channel. That's the connection that I'm talking about, that I never had before, in the sense that it's become more powerful than my mind. And after 4 days pure energy healing online, you'll find that you won't be thinking, but you'll be feeling. You'll be having a conversation with your consciousness more, because in those hours of healing, you start to listen to the voice that has been dying to talk to you all your life. And it's beautiful. So, yeah. I noticed Layla Satie made a video which was really nice, and she sent me a message, did you see the video? I said, I haven't had time, and then I saw it, and it's really nice, so maybe I can share it with you. And it's not OTT, it's just nice, because I'm not into OTT, I'm not into, advertising. Like, I just no me gusta, I don't like, but it's
to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Welcome to the Pure Energy Healing Academy, a place to be if you want to discover a healer within. We all have the innate healing ability to heal ourselves, maybe even become a healer as a career. What's for lunch?
right. Anyway, it's really nice. It was nice. We don't really do anything like that per se, but that was nice. So that said, somebody, and I apologize, I did say I was going to make this video a few days ago, but I've been really busy, so I apologize. So somebody had purchased some Agua de Florida and asked me how I use it. There are many ways to use Agua de Florida, loads and loads. I think you might find lots of things online. This was used in ceremonies with certain shamans that I worked with back in the days, and they would often spit it out. First of all, I wouldn't put that in my mouth because I think it would burn. It's like alcohol, and I just wouldn't want to do that. However, I have no issue with putting it into a bottle with a spray and spraying it over me. That's lovely. How I use it is I take it like that. So I'll just show you again, like that. Then I rub it in my hands, and then I just brush it over me. So the reason, I mean, Layla doesn't like to do that. Layla Satie finds it too invasive on her. Because what I used to do, right, I used to have a circle night, or I'd do it here, and I'd ask everybody to do the same, breathe it in. And the reason why is because I used to find it clears. It's like a shooting bolt up your head. It just blasts everything, and boy, will you feel a headache. And I believe that headache is a release of trapped energy. So this to me is fantastic. Now, that's how I use it. If I am using it on a healing session on a client, I will do exactly the same. I'll put some, again, in my hand, rub it in both hands, and I will go up and down my client after I've done a healing session. So that I would probably use my hands like this way in a cut. I would comb the energy and just up and down and around the head, so the client can start to smell it, and sometimes they'll come around with that smell because it's a new smell. So they'll breathe it in and then they'll come around, and it helps you come around. So it really is good for the energy, and it's also good for breathing in. I really love it. I'm not saying everybody will love that, just like I'm not saying that anybody will love my aura sprays because they're very strong, but I know that they do a good job. And I often say to people that when somebody doesn't like something, in the spiritual sense of cleansing and healing, it's normally because they need it more. And I always remember, Jasmine? I can't remember her name, but anyway, she used to sell noni juice. And I remember I first tasted noni juice and I nearly threw up. It was disgusting. And she smiled and she said, the reason why you don't like it is because it's really good for you. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But I really knew it did make sense. And she says, if you buy a bottle and you drink it every day, it's not about getting used to it. Because there's loads of stuff that you drink and it tastes disgusting. And every time you taste it, it still tastes disgusting. But there's something about noni juice that when you drink it and your body starts to heal, you start to realize that it doesn't taste as bad anymore. So there is something happening with the change of your senses, and taste is a sense. So you're healing your senses to be more pure. If you've ever done a fast and you've done it for more than 3 days, if you do it for 5 or 6 days and then you revert back to a vegetable or a fruit, you can't tell me that you are not in that moment of break fast. When you break your fast, that whatever it is, it might be pineapple juice, it might be grapefruit juice, it might be something that you break your fast and tell me how that drink tastes. That's how our food should be, and that's how it should taste. Medicine. It's our medicine. That's how it should taste. It should taste like you can feel it going into you and either healing you or giving you energy, and you can feel all of these senses. When you eat, tell me if you feel like that. I would say 90% of us don't. I don't think we have a clue when we're eating. We don't even think about eating. We think about watching the black screen while we're eating or having a talk to each other. But mindful eating, conscious eating, forget it. Haven't time for it. Don't care about it. What? You don't put your hands over your food and put energy into it? No. Okay. What about having a drink? Do you ever put your if you're having some water, do you ever put your hands over it and put your energy? No. Maybe you should. Maybe you'll find that the drink tastes better. Maybe you'll find that the food will taste better, that your fruit will taste better. These are only things that we discuss, and just, you'll probably forget about it tomorrow, but it's okay. These are the things that we all forget about, and yet it's there and it's free because it's the energy that we're channeling, and it's free up there. It doesn't cost anything, and you can put it into your food. It's incredible. And energy is everything. It really is everything. Our energy is so important. And as a healer, as a pure energy healer, when I look at you, I don't really look at you. I don't look at your nose or your eyes. I used to look at your eyes at one time to try and understand you and feel your soul. But now I look at energy. Over these 20 years, I look at energy now, and I look at your energy all around you, and I'm just seeing, it's just, every day that I look at people's energy, I see over the past 4 years things that I never saw before. After the 3 Dart finish, Britney Spears, the energy is different. It's erratic. It's movement, and I remember seeing a lady about, I think, 3 years ago, and as I looked at her, I could see this burst of energy. It was like flying from her chest, and it looked erratic and it looked really bad. And I was with a friend, and I said, that lady there has got an issue in her heart and it's not good. And I'm probably thinking she's been for that and it's in her heart. Anyway, we sat down, and this lady happened to sit very close to us. And the first thing she said when we were just about to order was, my chest is absolutely killing. And my friend said, why don't you say something to her? And I said, because there's nothing I can do. I have no idea what has been injected into her. It is a new technology that I haven't a clue. What I can tell you now, to this day, I still see the same energy around people. And when people say to me, do you think it's okay now? It's been, 2 years. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't lie to you. I'm sorry, but whatever they've put into that vial, was to keep whatever is inside your body all the time. And I'm no doctor, but I look at energy and see it. Does it get any better? I can't honestly say that. So, you know what bothers me most of all? That people still believe in a system. Right till this moment, I'm attacked till this day by people. You just think about this for a moment. I'm attacked by the people who are sick right now, but they will not attack the system that made us sick. They will not attack the nurses, the doctors, the medical industry, but they'll attack me. The very people that, if they would have listened to what we were saying, would be now healthy, and yet they hate me more than they hate those that made them sick, and that's made them lifetime sick. I'm talking about cancers, massive cancers now, guys, massive. You won't know, you'll never know, because they'll never share it with you. But if you ask them about something that they want, the government wants, they'll be able to tell you everything about whatever they want. They know everything, but they'll make sure they won't tell you what the rates are of cancer now in children and in adults. They won't tell you that. We don't have that information. Yes, you do. You have it, and you have it, and you know how bad it is, but you're not going to tell anybody because you know you're the culprits. So why would they even tell you? It's like a business doing something wrong. They're going to do their best not to tell anybody. That's what it is. But it's more than that. It's evil. It's built around pure evil. But yeah, I mean, to get angry with a healer that says, please don't do it, please stop, wait, and just wait, watch what happens before you do it. No, we're going to hate you, Mark Bajerski. I'm going to hate you for the rest of my life till I die. But yet the ones that poisoned you, you're not going to say anything. You're not going to do anything. Work that out. Work that out, people. Welcome to the healer's world. And it isn't easy. It's not easy being a healer. I mean, you know as well as I do, they're kicking out information now about the jabs, and it's hard to find. Even VARS, is it VARS? So basically, you can go online and you can type in your cause effects of what happened to you. It could be neurological. It could be, tinnitus. It could be, you came out in rashes, or it could be that you're not able to use a certain arm. You've gone partially blind. You've got myocarditis. All of these things that they're still pushing on the world. I mean, even if you look at that, I think the latest one was over 30, 35, 40,000, near 40,000 people have died from injecting themselves, letting them inject poisons to them. And they're still pumping it out there from day to day. It's unbelievable, but what's even more satanic, and that's what it is, it's a satanic ritual. And that's what I said right at the beginning. This isn't all to do with health and well-being, it's to do with a satanic ritual. And it goes beyond that. And they're now, even to this moment, in some countries, still giving it out and still giving it to babies. Can you imagine the satanic evil bastards in this world knowing that what it does to people, they're giving it to babies? 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot into babies being born. And you tell me I'm a bad person. You attack me. And hang on a minute. From day one, Mr. Trump is going to solve all your problems. Yes, of course he is. Hello? Anybody in, McFly? The lights are on, but nobody's at home. That man has been in power now how long? And still children and babies are being injected. Poisons are still being put into foods. They're still spraying above us. There's still... You'll still never know about who is in the Epstein files. You'll never know about anything. And yet people will bow down to... People are just desperate for saviours. And when you mention all of that, you're attacked. You're attacked for just speaking truth. Can you imagine what world we are living in? This is a world of delusion. This is a world of, without doubt, people are hijacked. They are either not of this world, they are attached by entity, demonic, they are literally unbelievable. And it's hard for us to live in a world like that. It's not easy. And when people start to say that I've been blackpilled, just so you know, I will block you. Because that word blackpilled is a disgusting 2 words. That means that I want to kill myself. Did you know that? You fool of a toque. Because you have no brain whatsoever. You can't discern between being a warrior of truth and sharing this truth to help a fellow spirit being, fellow soul, friend, brother, sister, to being depressed and not being able to do anything. I do more good than you do in 10 years in one day who say things like that. You're a plonker, you're a keyboard warrior, and you're brain dead, and you're just regurgitating information as if you're intelligent. I've got more intelligence in my left toenail than you have in that brain. When Elon Musk talks about the brain, and you've got to ask yourself this question: why is he needed to put an implant in people's brains? Why is that? If he talks about having this brain, and this brain being a very powerful thing, very powerful, why are we not expanding on what we have? Why do we need outside influence? And surely we should know by now that everything that man's made has always been a disaster for humanity, and that the main and most powerful healer and powerful tool is this, what, if you believe one God made, fine, then made. This is a beautiful thing. And when you realize that darkness realizes that this is a beautiful thing, and it wants to stop this beautiful thing from actually working properly, then you realize that those that are trying to inject you, those that are trying to put chips into you, those that are trying to poison the foods, those who are trying to poison the skies, you realize that they're doing it for the very reason of what I said many years ago, that we're in a spiritual war. And that war is that they want to stop you, this beautiful you, from being you. And it's going to do all it can. It's going to pull you out of a womb. It's going to smack you. It's going to cut your cord too fast, too soon. It's going to make you cry. It's going to shake you. It's going to slap your back. It's going to stamp your feet onto pieces of paper to take your soul, or to make you a signature. Here now, that baby is now owned by the darkness. There's your contract before you've even started. You haven't even got a chance. And then we're going to stick as many needles in as we can. You haven't got a bloody chance, because darkness rules this world. That's not being black-pilled. That is truth. And if truth is not shared, we will never, ever change this world. It is only via truth and understanding, but more so getting up off your ass and doing something about it, that makes a difference. You can read as many books as you want. You can know as much information as you want. Knowledge means nothing if you don't take action. So when you call me black-pilled, I just slap you across your face, because you're a fool of a took, and you have no understanding about anything, because you can't discern between somebody who's trying to help and wake you up and give you the power back. Now, I can give you the power back in 4 days in Pure Energy Healing Academy. That I can do. But I can't do that on here, but I can gently, or sometimes, oof, that was heavy. But you might get one thing out of it, and you might run with that. And then all of a sudden, as many people has taken some of the information and made a life out of it, that they've now gone on to other things and stood up for it. It's incredible what people have done. So I'd just like to follow on from this. I'd like to share this with you first of all. See, people send me all these things. Somebody's just sent me this. Everybody keeps sending me. I'd rather you don't send me stuff, guys. Like, this has just been sent. Anyway, I'm not even going to look at it. Not interested. So let me just try and find this, which is interesting. Well, it is to me. This is what matters. Not bitching about film stars on who said what and who's suing who. What are you talking about? Just stop that nonsense. Let's try and do something worthy of doing it. So I'll just play it for you so you can listen.
An Australian tree that is the source of a cancer cure has been taken off the market out of fears people could be poisoned using it at home. The blushwood tree, Fonteneur picrosperma, contains a chemical compound in its seeds which research firm Q-Biotics has developed into the anti-cancer drug EBC46. In human clinical trials of the cancer treatment, it successfully treated 4 different types of tumours: melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and breast adenocarcinoma. Here is the report from Channel 7 News in Australia.
The words cure and cancer don't often go together, but a single injection of a berry found only in Australia's far north.
Sorry, guys. Welcome everybody to my Bajerski YouTube channel. If you're not interested,
An Australian tree that is the source of a cancer cure has been taken off the market.
Start again.
Out of fears people could be poisoned using it at home. The blushwood tree, Fonteneur picrosperma, contains a chemical compound in its seeds which research firm Q-Biotics has developed into the anti-cancer drug EBC46. In human clinical trials of the cancer treatment, it successfully treated 4 different types of tumours: melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and breast adenocarcinoma. Here is the report from Channel 7 News in Australia.
The words cure and cancer don't often go together, but a single injection of a berry found only in Australia's far north is now thought to cure many types of cancer. It's been tested on animals at death's door and now on humans, making tumours disappear in just 48 hours.
In the depths of the Queensland rainforest grows a small seed with huge potential.
This is an extraordinary drug. It's a unique drug, and it really is something quite different.
Derived only from Australia's blushwood tree, EBC46 is a molecule that can fight cancer.
A full tumour destruction within 7 days.
Following astonishing results shrinking solid tumours in animals like Oscar, world-first human trials have now begun. For melanoma sufferer Denise Powell, joining the trial was a chance to avoid amputation.
My cancer surgeon said, I can take that one out. If you get any more, then you might lose an arm.
Instead of more surgery, EBC46 was injected directly into the tumour in Denise's armpit.
Less than 20 minutes, the tumour had gone purple, then black. Then within a couple of days, the tumour just kind of shriveled up and died.
This first stage trial is using safe, low doses, but even early results look promising.
Surgery treats most tumours, about 60% of them worldwide, and to do that you need an operating theatre, but with EBC46 you could go along anywhere.
When injected, EBC46 triggers an immune response, activating white blood cells to attack the tumour and shrinking it to nothing. So far, the treatment targets solid tumours such as melanomas and cancers of the head, neck and breast cancer. If this rainforest remedy is found to be safe and effective in humans, it could offer a whole new treatment option for cancer patients, especially the elderly, who can't face another round of chemo or go back under the knife. The second, larger phase of the trial begins next year. Dr. Andrew Rochford, 7 News.
now, that is so profound that it should blow you away. Now, shut up. So, let's talk about that. We're not talking about blushwood berry in powder form that you digest. That will not cure. That will only help. But when put into the cancer, listen to what he said. It it changes, and the white cells, they just attack and it's gone. In 24 hours, it's just gone. They're moving on to their second phase of the trials. Bollocks. It was stopped. It was stopped by the very people that I believe are all attached to everything to do with the medical industry and all those 3-letter agencies that claim to want a cure. That is the most dangerous bit of information in the world. And that, my friends, that information there would change the world if somebody had the balls to get up and say, what the hell's going on here? They did tests on animals, all their tumours shriveled up and they were fine. They didn't have to have anything amputated. They didn't have to go for treatments that will cause your body to break down and possibly that you will die from the very poisons that they're either injecting you or you're going under a machine for. And the very mention of why that got stopped when I pushed and pushed years ago, because I'm like, okay, this is it. We've got it. We've got at least the answer to tumours, to the skin cancer. We've got it. You just inject it in. We've got it now. The world has to change. But of course, we live in a world of darkness, of evil, of monsters. The monsters feed off greed and money and control, and they want you to suffer. So do you really think that they want cures? Do you think that anything that they give you in hospital is a cure? When you get a real cure like that, let me tell you how quickly they shelve it. And when I rung the very hospital clinic that did these tests, not interested. The trial's been stopped. And why is that? Why is that? Guess what their answer is. Guess what their answer is on the same very energies, companies. Cancer research. Hello, is that cancer research? Yes. I'm making some inquiries about the blushwood fruit. It was on here this many years ago, or it was on here 6 months ago. It was on here a year ago. What's going? Right. Well, if you look on our website, it's because we stopped the trials because we were worried about the after effect of blushwood berry. So, sorry, please explain this to me. You're worried about an after effect, which there was no after effect with these ladies because they were all cured. You're worried about an after effect of a fruit. Can you tell me why radiation and chemotherapy isn't got rid of because of the after effect of what that does to people? Basically, it melts the brain and so on. So please explain to me how you can get rid of a known cure that actually cures without any after effect. And you're shutting it down because you're worried that a fruit may have an after effect. So you know how I want to swear here because it gets me so angry. My mum died of cancer. So I have, like, I saw her die. I saw her stomach blow up and I saw her die and there was nothing I could do. So whenever I hear of people like Dr. Brzezinski, who literally cures people from many different cancers, especially in the brain, and then the CDC and the FDA take him to court all the time and try to grab his information, which he locks away and doesn't let them have. And they fight him in court for millions of dollars to try and stop him. And there are hundreds of people in that courtroom saying, leave him alone. And he's won that many court cases and the judge says, why are you doing this to this man? You are persecuting this man. This man is only trying to heal people. Then you realize that this world we live in is a world of evil, and stop calling me black-pilled. I am just pointing out fact. We are living in a world where evil is running this world, not Donald Trump. He's just a puppet to make you believe. And he's there to make you think to yourself, oh, he's here to save us. So then you feel better instead of realizing that you're being shafted every day, that you're being taxed up to the hilt, that you're being programmed, that you're being pushed into cities, you're being poisoned, that smart cities and electric cars and on and on and on. It's all demonic. It's all evil. And I say it goes back to my original conversation. And that is when I was sat with a beautiful man that I gave a healing session to. And he was a lovely man, very old, very, very healthy. And what a genius this guy was. I listened to him for 2 hours. And when he told me that there are certain families that are born into this world that are not like you and I, and they are all over the world, and these families come from elite bloodlines. So they are born into these bloodlines, and they're born deliberately into these bloodlines, and they come into this world, and their only objective, because they have all the wealth in the world, is to manipulate the world so it becomes sick. They do everything they can to make us sick. They do everything they can to make us dumb. They do everything they can to poison us. They do everything they can to create wars. They do everything they can to make us hate each other, divide us. And they spend 24 hours a day, every day, creating or destroying, should I say, working to destroy this world. They're creatively destroying us as human beings. And why? Because there is an energy that feeds a certain type of being that is within this world that may not be seen, that you may call dark energies, but they also are living within bodysuits. So they are within this world. We call them entities, attachments, and demonic energies. These are just words which are bandied around, but they are of this world, and they are invisible, but they do go into the bodies, and they become a living, eating, breathing energy that feeds from pain, suffering. And they are normally at the highest level of any kind of work. So they are at the highest levels of CEOs. They're at the highest levels of every three-letter agencies, because they feed from suffering. They feed from deceit, lies, cheating. They do everything they can that you and I think, this doesn't make any sense. Hang on a minute. Just this one video that you would say, wouldn't you say this? If you knew me and if I was running the cancer research and you got this and you came to me and said, Mark, have you seen what they've just found out in Australia? And I'd say, what's that? Well, they found the blushwood fruit and they inject it and it cures the cancer in 24 hours. Do you know where I'd be on the plane to? At my £300,000 a year CEO job, I would get the next flight out to that clinic, and I would sit there and I would watch what was happening, and I would note it all and say, I'd come back again and say, we've found a cure, guys. We've literally found a cure. They've cured all the animals, and they've cured all the first lot of people have all been cured. It's just about cured everybody. It's the most important discovery we've ever had in the entire cancer research, and we are now putting it out there. We're going to bottle it up. The government's going to send it to every single place, just like the COVID vaccines. I mean, they did it with COVID vaccines over a cold, over a flu or a virus. But hang on, guys, they're not doing it for this, which 1 in 2 people die of cancer in their lifetime. Hello? Is this making sense to anybody? Is anybody waking up here and realizing that we are run by demons, by not demons as in religion, but by not jinn by religion, but by monsters. Monsters who want you to be sick because they feed from you. They feed from pain and suffering. They feed from... Don't talk about Donald Trump as being your saviour. If he was your saviour, he would have saved. He would have already implemented so many things that would have made that change. You're scratching your head just like you did past 4 years prior to that. Yeah, but he's better than this man. No, it's not about being better than that man or this man. It's about doing what's right, and none of them are doing what... Oh, but he's putting a wall up. Oh, okay, brilliant. What about the spraying? What about stopping babies from being injected with poisons? What about all the things that are important? What about this? You think if I sent him this, you think he'd give a damn? Head up, baby. What up, baby? And no, I'm not black-pilled. I'm just passionate to what I feel is right. And I should be passionate. If I know that there is a cancer cure, I should be passionate. And shame on me for not saying it more often and pushing it. And sending messages to cancer research. And sending messages to the very people who did that. Trying to get hold of that doctor and that woman who was saying this is a breakthrough. Saying, where are they? What are they doing now? Why aren't they doing anything? Lily, come here. Hey, Lily, come here. Come here. Come on. So, you know, if I'd have stopped saying anything, you imagine how many of my friends on here would be sick now, would hate me for not saying anything. I said to you guys, don't do it. Don't inject yourself, guys. Don't do it. I said it before it even came out. I had this sick feeling in my stomach saying, this is bad. I can feel the evil. I can feel when I'm next to evil. I can feel it because I've been in houses, in pubs, into nightclubs, into buildings, and I know when there is a presence of demonic energy. I know where there's a manipulator, a cheater, a dark entity. I can feel it in the pit of my stomach, and I know it because I recognize it. And I recognized it as soon as they started saying that they were bringing an injection out for everybody. I knew that was the one that is going to make so many people sick. It's going to make them sick, and it's not going to be the 1 year, it's not going to be 2 years, it's not going to be 3 years, it's going to be all their life, and it's a ticking time bomb. There are things that you can do. There are things, if you've been injected, you can do. You can suppress it. You can try and heal yourself from it. You can work on parasites, clear the parasites. That is connected to this. But there is still the spike protein. There is still that. There is that evil AI technology which Elon Musk is pushing. RNA, it's synthetic, it's not real, it's mechanical, it's demonic, and it stays in your body forever. It was designed to stay in your body. Why do you think they stop you from taking all the things that were there to heal you? When I was in Bali, I started to get this pain and I took ivermectin, it was gone. A few days later, I'm fine. And I thought, wow. And people were saying, I thought you didn't believe in it. Thought you didn't think there was anything COVID. I said, look, there's always stuff happening. There's always people getting sick and flu and ill. And there's always people getting sick from what's pouring down what you're eating. But there are things that will help. And it all points to the same thing. It all points to parasites. So you've got parasites living in you and you've got parasites ruling the world. We are filled with parasites. And there's one parasite you can kill, and that's inside you. And there's multiple ways of working on your body to kill parasites. There are hundreds of ways of killing parasites in your body. I'm no doctor, I'm no health expert, but there's things that I try and look at that I've asked many people. I've asked David Avocado, I've asked loads of people. How do you clear the parasites in the brain? It's easy to get the gut, but what about the brain? And even they don't know. They don't know. They won't answer you because they don't know. Because it's not that easy. It's not that easy. So there are things that you can look at that when you take a product, if you take it like with something that can help pass through the brain barrier, well, that's something that I've been looking at. And what's that? Curcumin. So I'm looking at taking that with other products that hopefully will open the brain barrier, and so that that fluid will go in and then kill. I mean, I let me just show you what I mean. I'm not a supplement person. I eat more natural foods like carrots. If you eat a lot of carrot, that is another way of killing parasites. You know, there's lots of seeds that you can take, you know, sunflower seeds, there's other seeds, and there's plants, there's all sorts of stuff you can take. You guys will know, but swap and change. The reason why I do it is because I always think to myself, there's probably a lot of different parasites in my body. And I think if I'm taking loads of different, you know, ginger's one of them. Maybe ginger is the healer or the killer of parasites for people who eat sushi. That's probably why when you go to Japan, when they eat sushi, there's always ginger, because it will kill the parasite. So maybe that's good for that. But what about soursop? What about, because I like to mix soursop with, and just let me show you. I'm 57 years old now, right? I don't dream about buying new clothes. I don't dream about buying new anything. I invest all my money. Whenever I've had a good week, I invest my wages in things like this. Things like this. Silica. Vitamins. I got these from Health Bunker, Dominic. Defense. This is vitamins. Magnesium, all the magnesiums, all the 7 magnesium. This is a fantastic one. Yeast cleanse, right? Most people don't realize that they've got yeast infection, and really, by taking one of these a day, you'll find yourself feeling a lot better. This is, again, a new product by Dominic, a vitamin C in liquid form. These are just what I could grab. Now, I don't take them all at once. I just feel like I do crystals. What do I need today? And I'll take 1 or 2. And I'll keep introducing things into my body. But these are just the supplement. It's a supplement. What a supplement means is it shouldn't be the main thing that you take. What you should take is real fruit and vegetables. And all your fruits and vegetables are absolutely important to what you eat, to what your body. I was going to talk about this, right? This is really important, right? So I'm not, don't get upset because you might not be able to go and pick your own fruit and vegetables. And I certainly most of the time can't do that. But I did recognize once when I pulled a fruit from a tree and put it down, I saw the energy around it and it was beautiful. And I'm like, wow, it's got lovely energy around it. And then within half an hour, that energy depleted. It went down to nothing. When I looked upon the tree and looked at the fruit on the tree, that energy is always around it. Until you pull it and put it down, that energy is still there, but then disappears. Now, again, this is going to sound really weird and strange, right? But what if I told you that when I looked at the very place that fruit I pulled off the tree, when I'm looking at it, I still see the energy around where that, say, apple or orange or lemon was. So I'm looking, I'm like, I can still see an outline of its energy. But that's strange. I pulled it off and I put it there, and I see the energy around there, but it's depleting. But the energy around where it was is still there. Imagine that. Imagine that, guys. So this is like years ago. This is like, you know, nearly 17 years ago, 16 years ago when I noticed that. So I realized that when I'm eating food, if I can eat it direct from the tree, which I try and do at the farm, even if it's one piece of fruit, I'm getting the life force, which is how we should eat. We should have a garden that we should walk to, pick it, and then eat it. We should be eating it fresh. We should be eating it raw. And that's when we get the real energy. It's not raw. That word raw is ridiculous. We should call it fresh. We should eat it fresh. And you get a double whammy. You get the energy of the medicine, and you get energy of the spiritual medicine. And it's phenomenal. And I also, you know, there's other things that I'd noticed as well on all, you know, trees, for instance, that get something cut. We've just had our mango trees cut, and as I was driving up, I was looking at the energy, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big energy. And then I realized, no, it's not. It was the energy where they cut. So it's almost like the energy's still there, and all of those branches have been cut, but the energy's still up there. It's not around it as per se. That's really fascinating. And so we have two energies. We've got the physical, like I said on Richie Allen's show. This is organic. This is real. We can touch it. Whether you believe that there is another world, or this idea of it being a construct, or whatever it is, you can't deny that isn't real. And maybe you're right. Maybe I could put my hand through it. Maybe we've tried, and maybe there's people who can put their hand through that. But I can't. I've tried to do it. I don't have that ability. I haven't been able to do that. But maybe there's some people who can. But my point being is, it's still hard. It's still there. Mother Earth still feels like Mother Earth. I still get my energy from her. So when you say it's some kind of construct, it's hard for me to base my healing work, and when I heal you on that, I see your energy and work with your energy, which to you might not look like anything, but to me it does. So there may be truth in that this is a hologram, but I just go on what I see from moment to moment, and I don't not believe until I see. So I've got to work at seeing, and then I say, okay, that kind of makes sense. This might sound strange as well, but you know, even if you bite that fruit, half of that fruit, when you hold that up, you can still see the energy around it, as if that bite has been taken, but the energy is still there. So there is another force, another life force, until that force goes. And I believe that with our energy too. I believe that with you. Now, I've had many people who have come to me with like half a leg, or an arm missing, or half an arm missing. And there's been many a times that I've looked at their energy, and I can still see the energy where the hand was. And it's like, as they're moving and talking, I'm like, I can see your hand. But I can't. It's just energy that I'm seeing. But that energy of the hand is still there. And so when you see things differently as a healer, what you're taught and what you see visually in your experience with clients is completely different. And, you know, you can't say that to people. Like, but your energy is still there. Your hand is literally, your spiritual self is complete. And I often remember hearing many of my clients saying that it's really funny, but sometimes, right, or all the time, that I get so upset. Like, I remember clients saying it to me. I remember a girl saying it to her who was 18 years old who had her arm amputated, and I was giving her healing, and she said she can actually feel her squeezing her hands. And I'm like, what, both of your hands? She said, yeah. And literally, my hand is still there. And she said, and I look at it and then I feel so upset because I really thought my hand was there. And I would say, it is there. Spiritually, your hand is there. It's absolutely there. Your energy it's still there. So I know some of you are going to laugh or call me freaking stupid or an idiot or you're talking out your ass, but what may seem crazy to people, to other people, it's normal. So that girl understood what I said, and I understood what she said. It made sense. And then when I look at the tree and think about biting an apple and still seeing the apple there and seeing the energy here and then disappear, it's like when your eyes are open to see these things, when you're a healer and you experience these, when you're with clients and you're working, you know, people call me thick. Literally, people call me a liar, a cheat, a this and that. And it's like, who are you? Who are you? What are you talking about? You know nothing about nothing. And because you know nothing about nothing, you're saying these things. But you have no clue about anything. And this is the life of a healer. A healer has to put up with people that have no clue, that do nothing in life, that just eat, drink, sleep and scroll. And we're bombarded by these weak beings that are brought to us to attack us, to try and stop us every day. So being a healer isn't easy. Being a truth speaker isn't easy. And you know, I understand when people say, I'm done with this. I can't cope with this anymore. I get it. I totally get it. I've nearly thrown the towel in 100 times. But something in us gets up the next morning, and there's something that darkness can never do. It can never steal our soul. It can never keep us down for long enough. It might do the 99% who are easy to manipulate. But for you 1%, guys, there is nothing that they can do. And no matter how many times we feel down or we're exhausted, something inside us is inherent that we have to get up and continue. And we do. And I'm proud of you for being that person. And I'm proud of you for sharing the truth. And I'm proud of you for not letting it affect you for too long. And I'm wishing you a lovely night. And what little I've shared with you tonight, even if I've given you one little piece of information, if anything resonated with you here tonight, take that one piece of information and start to meditate on it, think about it, and allow the channeling of your spirit world and all this free information that comes from your home world to be given to you so that you can utilize it and work with it and make your life a better life. And for that, I just want to wish you a lovely night from the bottom of my heart. Take care. Good night, everybody. And sleep well. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Take care. It's been lovely chatting with you.